Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about empowering student success with Canva for Campus. And as many of you are already keenly aware of the changes in the dynamics from post-pandemic, even reflecting on pre-pandemic, what the classroom landscape was and how you can, continue to track those trends and support your students in the classroom, and also provide them really high-end industry-leading software such as Canva to support them in their marketing endeavors. So a little bit about me. So I'm Mia Kagianas, as Virgil had mentioned. I'm our higher education consultant here at Canva. And a little bit about my journey through higher education and the way that I first got to Canva is I actually started way back in Chicago, currently in Denver now. But I was in Chicago and went to Sacramento State to pursue my college degree out in Northern California. And during my time in college, I was elected to serve as the student body president of my institution, and then went on to serve all 23 CSU campuses in California to support the 500,000 students across the institution when it came to that intersection between student success, academic technology, and also career readiness, right? With the fluctuations in the market, also having that in mind of the student journey. And so then once I graduated college, I wanted to continue supporting that effort and helping students. And so I moved on to support students from a mobile application platform that was a personalized platform for students. And now I'm here at Canva, helping colleges and universities innovate inside and outside of the classroom when it comes to visually communicating with constituents and students. So for those of you that dropped a 1 or a 2 or even a 3 in the chat that may not be familiar with Canva, or those of you that are, and maybe, as our organization is evolving, our offering is really growing, and so is the feedback we get from users. So a little bit about Canva as an organization. We are a visual communications platform that has been reaching millions of users across the globe to support their efforts when it comes to not only digital assets, whether that's creating designs for social media, creating videos, presentations like the one that you're seeing me present right now, but also print materials, being able to print t-shirts, mugs, stickers. So really being able to communicate any aspect of a brand, either personal or professional, to different constituencies and communities across the globe is really what Canva helps users achieve every day. And something that not a lot of our users know is that we actually started as a student origin story with our founder there, Mel, Cliff, and Cam, who actually started Canva, or the idea for Canva, out of their college when they were students. And they realized when they were teaching students how to use different designs and marketing platforms that it was really cumbersome and complex. And we'll kind of get into how Canva came to be so accessible and user-friendly for anybody, regardless of their design background. But really the idea was to create something that wasn't intimidating for students to use, to create designs and visually communicate. So a little bit about Canva at a glance. We launched officially in 2013. We have actually, these numbers are a little outdated. They're growing by the day, but we have around 3,000 employees worldwide. And we have actually close to 80 million monthly active users across over 190 countries. So we do a lot of localization effort. We're working with a lot of partners globally to make sure that the platform is as accessible and really meets the needs of our changing times. So back to the kind of origin of how we started and where Canva came to be as a visual communications tool is so many of the different platforms out there today are pretty fragmented and not as user-friendly. So you're going to have a different setup for your content management, a different setup for your stock photos, for your storage space, for printing. And it can be kind of a lot to manage all those aspects especially when we know that content is king and queen these days, that being able to churn out new designs and also creating engaging content inside the classroom is increasingly difficult with fragmentation like that. So Canva brings together that entire design ecosystem into one platform where you can have your stock photos, design templates that we create for you out the gate, fonts, editors, publishing, content management, printing, all of it in one pane of glass so that you can create things really quickly. Sometimes, under 10 minutes, maybe under 5 minutes, creating a really unique and engaging design that is aesthetically pleasing and makes an impression on those that you're trying to reach pretty quickly. And really the difference here with Canva is it really empowers teams to achieve goals with that content creation. And it sits in between kind of two areas of the spectrum. On one hand, you've got your services like Microsoft PowerPoint and Google Docs and Google Slides where you can create things pretty quickly. They're very accessible, but perhaps not as engaging on the design side. And then on the other hand, you've got some really intricate and advanced holistic design tools that are really geared for that professional development, those professional skills, but aren't as accessible to get up and running very quickly. And so Canva sits in between being both accessible and also having a lot of range for you to create designs that are really meaningful and do make those impressions. So a lot of you that popped in the chat that you use Canva pretty regularly, many of you may be familiar with our free offering on the consumer side where you can sign up for a free Canva account on our website or even a pro account. But what maybe some of you don't see is that we also have an enterprise side of our organization where we're serving not only that direct to consumer outlet, but we're also supporting large enterprise corporations, small businesses, and colleges and universities to scale their brand and marketing management with their marketing assets, maintain brand consistency and integrity across all the departments in these large, complex organizations. So in the context of higher ed, you can think of it in a sense of, marketing and communications from the central campus level, being able to provide templates and resources so that different departments and divisions, whether it's student affairs, athletics, can maintain some brand integrity across those organizations without maybe having to constantly request different templates or designs that are bespoke from that team. So really helping these organizations and corporations scale at an industry-wide level. So industries include tech, travel, working with mobile and social media, Snapchat, Coca-Cola, to really help them scale their brand assets and management across the board. But that's on the enterprise side. And we're here to talk about the campus side and student success and how this relates. And I do want to mention the enterprise side because as campuses and as professors, you are working with students to help them think from an industry and enterprise level, but also you are working within the confines of that campus and academic serving institution. So how does that relate? So as you all know, and the really reason why we're here too is to talk about how visual communications is now the status quo, right? That content is king or queen, as I mentioned. And it is everybody's responsibility on a campus where you have to feed the meter when it comes to managing social media posts, creating engaging presentations for your students, from librarians to the alumni center to the information technologists across campus. It's kind of everybody's role now to communicate visually and get a message across to your users, to your teams effectively. So not only has visual communications changed the way that our business operations and our teams really are sending information, but also visual communication has changed the way you're teaching and the way that students are learning. And from a scientific perspective, it's been found that using relevant visuals really helps students remember and retain information more effectively in the classroom. And all of the information transmitted to our brains is 90% visual. So when you're communicating and trying to effectively make impressions with students in your courses about different content and materials, we know that the attention spans are ever getting shorter and shorter. So being mindful of how visual communications makes an impact in the messages you're trying to send to your students. Additionally, visuals are processed 60,000 times faster in the brain than text. So if text and an ostrich were in a race for who can reach our brains faster, the ostrich would win in this situation. So visuals really are making that impact in the classroom. And for folks on that enterprise side who are marketing and developing out marketing strategies to sell products and services, it's changing the way we buy, the way we sell. But of course, for you all, transforming the way that you're teaching and the way that students are learning pretty rapidly. So if visual communications changes the dynamics of how students learn and how we teach, how does this factor into overall student success? Because we know there's many components to it. But first, we have to take a step back and define what student success is, as we do in academia. And many institutions will view student success as that combination of achieved learning outcomes and student engagement as a form of matriculation. Getting the tools that they need to make their path through that higher education program, whether it's going on to more schooling, technical programs after their grad programs, or directly into the workforce. But we know that there's much more that goes into student success than just outcomes and engagement. And it really comes down to inspiring students as well. So pre-pandemic, we know that students face a mountain of challenges as they carve their path in higher ed, but all that can be accounted for when it comes to boiling down student success. So we know that basic wellness, access to resources, belonging and engagement, and then at the very top is effort and performance. If we're looking at this from almost like a Maslow's hierarchy of needs standpoint, all of these are very critical and have been very critical pre-pandemic. But as students acquire knowledge, it's also important that we're inspiring them and making, again, those impressions inside the classroom so that they feel engaged in the content. They feel that they have a sense of belonging. They know where they fit in with the concepts that they're learning in class and can almost even visualize where they fit in that sense. So once basic needs and resources are accounted for, getting them to that engagement stage so that they can apply that effort and maintain that performance is critical to student success. So EDUCAUSE had posted a really helpful article about some data that was found post-pandemic or even mid-pandemic. And they had referenced that the Economist Intelligence Unit found that 60% of faculty witnessed a drop in engagement as students struggle to stay focused. And even now, that evolution of focus and kind of level setting what that maybe asynchronous or synchronous learning inside the classroom, maybe even a hybrid format, how that may also impact that engagement for students in the classroom. Some of you may have witnessed that and have stories to share even about what you've seen in that environment firsthand. But also 70% of the faculty that were surveyed in that same study noted that they were concerned about their ability to deliver engaging and high value learning experiences to their students. So on one hand, we're seeing engagement drop. And on the other hand, we're seeing faculty struggle to keep that engagement and really kind of switch things up so that they can support their students and get to that successful point that matters to them. So really that dilemma boils down to students craving engagement, craving some tools and resources that keep their attention so they can learn and get excited about learning concepts that will help them not only now, today, and get to that final exam or whatever that may be, that benchmark, but post-college success as well. And then for you as professors and faculty who are really looking to scale and provide resources without necessarily reinventing the wheel, you've got a lot that you're balancing and a lot of hats that you're wearing too. So making things a little easier for you to reach students without having to really overreach and really think about how you can engage students and really crack that nut. And then lastly, as we're seeing in these market trends of the labor wars and thinking about how we can retain and attract really high level talent, is employers are also in real need of work ready, critical and creative thinkers, which you're able to mold and shape in the classroom. So that's the dilemma. How do we crack this nut? I'm guessing some of you may know. what we're here to talk about too is Canva for Campus being a solution to help you crack that nut. So what do we do about these problems? How is Canva for Campus related? How can it support you? And perhaps how is Canva for Campus different than what the Canva you've heard about, which may be just on that consumer level side? So to talk a little bit about Canva for Campus and how we're helping faculty members and students crack that nut today is really when it comes to empowering creativity and learning through design with our platform. So I'm going to walk through a couple of the tools that Canva provides in our platform that really help empower you as professors in the classroom to create that engaging content for your students. So I hope that you can have some real tangible takeaways here of tools that you can use inside the classroom, and then also how you can help your students use the tools also to their advantage from a content perspective and a pedagogy perspective on how you are creating those learning outcomes using Canva as a tool for them to learn, and also kind of learn from those enterprise organizations that are using Canva every day for their brand marketing. So as a visual communications platform that empowers students to create hands-on designs ranging from presentations to websites to infographics, even brand kits, and more, so that they can demonstrate to you what they're learning in the classroom. Canva for Campus, includes all of the features that you can create designs with just on that free level, but also access to all of our premium content for students for free. So when it comes to having access to free stock images in our partnership with Getty Images, access to all of our video and music libraries that are license free for you to use, all the way up to workflow and process management. So students can actually create groups within Canva. You as faculty members can create groups within Canva that you can share content with, you can manage your files, and also have some good collaboration inside the platform, as well as other tools that you may be using. So there's this whole work suite here with Canva for Campus, getting like the best of both worlds of the enterprise solution that Salesforce and HubSpot are using, but then also that academic piece where you can really interact and engage with your students in a really organic way. So some of the tools here that I was mentioning just at a high level are now being able to collaborate, right? So having that extra layer where not only are you creating and then pushing out designs, downloading into a format and then sharing them maybe in your LMS or via email to your students, but actually collaborating with students in real time live in the classroom. So you have the ability to create engaging activities from maybe live whiteboarding sessions and brainstorming with students, allowing them to prototype their brand assets and create designs that you can comment and provide feedback on. And they can even assign tasks to each other in group projects, but really engaging your audience in a lot of different tools here where you can manage your classes, you can manage the coursework that students are assigned while they're creating those designs. And as I'm providing you a presentation here, some of the tools that are at your disposal with Canva for Campus are being able to use our presentation tools to transform and level up those lectures by creating really interactive slideshows that you can do asynchronously. You can have different feature sets added to them, videos, GIFs, and tools that you can make that help really grab that student's attention so you can create really engaging lectures and presentations for them. Also, you can enable your students to create assignments that allow them to apply their knowledge in a hands-on, tangible way that is also really fun to use. So we've got this awesome video editor. They can create hype reels that are meant for social. They can share those with you. You can assign these things that are really fun for you also to grade and make comments on, provide feedback, approve these items and send them out to students so that they can get your sense of how you're visualizing or you're internalizing their work as they're demonstrating their knowledge to you in really unique and engaging ways for themselves. That also includes data visualization. So Canva has, we've acquired an organization called Flourish that does really robust data visualization. So when we know also data is so important and critical in our learning outcomes these days, that being able to enable students to take data that they may have from research they're conducting or things that they're pulling from different studies that have been done, or you even as professors, research that you've done, being able to visualize that and put that in a format where others in your audiences can consume that information and make an impact. I alluded to this just momentarily, but you can use our whiteboard tool, which is a new feature that enables you to create collaborative, real-time whiteboards that students can write on, add sticky notes. You can prompt them with great brainstorming questions. We're using this all the time internally at our organization. And we've seen it also used in the classroom with all of our educator partners that are wanting to really bridge the gap between kind of being a talking head through a screen, kind of like I am right now, but having folks interact on that whiteboard in real time, live, where you can see where folks are at, where they're changing things and adding information. So you're really asking them to participate with you in that session. And another note here is, you've got all these tools, right? There's so many tools, there's so many platforms, so many accounts and logins to keep track of. But as you're balancing all those different accounts where you're keeping perhaps your syllabi and your content and all the activities that you're having students leverage, is you can pull in all those apps directly into your Canva pane. So if you have content stored in other sites that you're using, Canva plays really well with other tools. So if you need to pull in items or share them out with students that may be living in another environment, you can have them directly pulled into Canva as well. And so can your students. But an additional layer there for Canva for Campus is we want this to live in the same ecosystem that students are learning out of and gaining content from right now. So depending on your learning management platform, plug it right into Canva for Campus. You can have assignments posted directly from your LMS to Canva and vice versa, so that you can update content perhaps as you go without having to always change the file in your LMS or update that content. You can just have that provided right directly with Canva for Education and Canva for Campus. So that way it's all in the same learning environment that you're using to organize your projects, to organize your content, because there is a lot of items for you to keep track of. So we want to make your lives a lot easier. And this is how we can do it. So how are educators using Canva today? We have teachers across the globe, districts, school districts, K through 12, and colleges and universities that are using Canva to support students inside the classroom and outside the classroom, creating engaging content for them, also to get involved and to access opportunities, access resources, because all of you provide so many infinite resources that most students sometimes don't know of all the time. So getting the word out and kind of cutting through the noise of all the distractions and things that students also have to balance, right? They're balancing work, family obligations, as well as school, being able to cut through that noise and ensure that they're getting the resources they need that you're providing is also really critical outside the classroom. So among all those folks, and among Canva's millions of monthly active users, about a third of those actually come from the education side. So 21.64 plus million of our monthly active users actually come from students and educators who are using Canva in the classroom every single day, which is really, really mind-blowing when you come to think about it. Just the expansion there and just how Canva is used as a tool to really help you scale, not only in your lessons, but also in just reaching your students and creating course material that's really memorable for them. So on that note, we talked about the dilemma, we talked about engagement rates, and also that concern of how do we capture that engagement for our students, and how can we really make sure that they're getting the most out of our course material. Well, first and foremost, so you're able to engage your students in a way that is interactive and hands-on, but a light lift for you to understand where they're at, be able to consume what knowledge they're demonstrating that they've learned in the course, and seeing that demonstration in real time. So creating that engaging material, but then for you being able to scale and not add a whole lot more to your plates, but really help kind of grease the wheels for teaching very engaging content to your students while also not sacrificing quality. And then lastly, teaching students industry standards so that they can have those marketable skills on their resumes. I mean, they can use Canva to create those resumes. I know I did when I was in college, and also really have that as a portfolio that they can go show to other industry leaders on how they're using Canva, maybe in a similar way that those industry leaders are using Canva. So just at a glimpse, when you're providing students this hands-on industry level experience, these are some of the players we're talking about. So really taking that application to a whole nother level and thinking about how these tools, how Canva for campus translates very similarly to Canva for enterprise, and how students can then relate that to the material they're learning in your courses. So these organizations are using Canva today to scale their brand and market management. But then also we've got campuses that, of course, are using it inside the classroom and are also using it to scale their marketing too. So create engaging material for your students, help yourself scale, do yourself a favor, and then also really relate and connect those students back to that industry level experience as the standards are evolving pretty frequently. Just bringing us home here, really, again, heading home that we're empowering. I mean, we should probably, someone's got to keep tally of how many times I've said empower, but we're empowering them. We're empowering our students to succeed in the classroom and beyond. And that is so critical. The value of an education today is so high, making sure that they're getting the most out of it when, you know, the times are changing and they're complex times, and inspiring them with your lessons, inspiring them with tools that will help them in the next levels of their lives and stages of their career beyond school is really what our mission is, right? So that kind of wraps up most of what I had prepared today. And I definitely wanted to leave a good chunk of time for questions, for feedback, for maybe personal experiences if some of you are using Canva today in the classroom, but would love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mia. That was great. I know I love Canva. I use it for my YouTube channel, and I know we love it here at Student. We use it a lot. And I know, as you can see from the chat, there's a lot of people that use it and love it, a lot of educators out there. Before we jump into the Q&A, I know David mentioned in the chat that he built a Canva assignment that he's willing to share. We've also created some here at Student, and Abby's going to post a link in the chat where you can download 2 assignments for your students to get into Canva and actually get some experience with it. One is focused on content marketing and one is focused on digital marketing. So you can go and find those there, and then we'll jump into the Q&A now. And as Mia said, anything else you want to talk about, throw in the chat. The first question that came in is, can you talk about any training or certifications offered by Canva?
Oh, I love this question. Yes. So Canva has our in-house design school that provides a whole library of training videos for faculty, for teachers, general educators and students on how to use the platform. And it has been highly requested that there is a certificate program. I definitely put my name in the ring for that. I was like, we need to have a certification of sorts. And so that is something that I'm told is on the roadmap. And so if and when a timeline is released, we'll be sure to share that, but that is definitely on our radar. And something that's new that our team has launched is certificates for numbers of designs that have been published. So we're making our way there, but I love that question. Be on the lookout for credentialing and micro-credentialing soon. I love it.
Thank you. Another question, can you please elaborate on opportunities through Canva for education? Is there a special group pricing available for college or class subscriptions? How does that work currently?
Yes, so I just put my my email and information here. I know that that visual will get a little dizzy, so I'll move it and we'll have my email in the chat. But yes, so campuses do have a special offering, depending on the size of your school and how many students we're looking to serve. You know, it looks a little different, but essentially with the Canva for Campus offering, as you heard me talk about that enterprise environment and then also the education environment. Colleges and universities, since you are both an enterprise in a sense, and you're also an academic serving institution, you get the best of both worlds. So higher ed gets the cream of the crop when it comes to Canva. So feel free to reach out to me and we'll see how we can get you set up with Canva for Campus, what that will look like for licensing, and how we can get you set up for your institution for your classes.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Next question, do you have any training videos or anything related to design-based best practices that we can share with our students, and also any assignment ideas for using Canva as a tool?
Yes, I have tons. We do have an entire site. Let me see if I can even pull it up here.
So Abby shared the design school, if that's the one.
Yep, we have another section for teachers specifically and educators that we can share also. And just generally that link that Abby shared around our design school is perfect because there are so many different tracks that you can segment from there, regarding best practices for how to accomplish personal branding for students, how students can use Canva for, like we were talking about a little earlier, resumes, portfolios, how they can use it for assignments. So the design school has pretty much everything baked in. And then we've got a couple other best practices and a resource hub specifically for educators as well that I can share. Oh, perfect, Abby. You're on it. Thank you.
Abby is great. Next question. So Elizabeth asked, will you host any national or school-wide Canva competitions? Can we discuss this with you? She said Jason Wilmot mentioned something about that in the winter when he was speaking at our Digital Boost event.
I love it. Yes, we would love to do those. And we're in the brainstorming phase. Our team is growing pretty quickly and globally also. So we'd love to start working on some of those competitions and see what ideas folks have. So if you're interested, definitely reach out and we can do a little brainstorming and whiteboarding together.
Awesome. This next one says, thanks for the talk. Canva Pro is not only good for visuals, but also really good for integrating and managing various social media platforms in one dashboard on Canva. And then their question is, does Canva for Campus also include the social media integration capabilities offered by Canva Pro?
Yes, absolutely. So all the pro features that are there are baked into Canva for Campus. Plus you get the workflows. You also have some controls, settings, and brand controls that you can set inside the platform that are not available in Pro. So there are a couple like special features that you have in the Campus offering in addition to everything that you see in Pro. So yeah.
Awesome. And then a couple more questions here. If a professor is just starting off, what would you recommend as a next step for us to learn how to use Canva for Campus as both an instructor and a student resource?
Oh, that's great. Well, if you haven't used Canva before, I definitely recommend that you sign up for an account. Reach out to me. We can hop on a little walkthrough conversation about how you can use it and some ideas of how you can incorporate it in your course. But I would say one of the best ways to get started is looking at the different tools that we have. So in Canva, there's thousands and thousands of templates that we provide out the gate on pretty much any design type that you can think of, from presentations to videos, to websites. So I would say in a course setting, start with presentations. Canva is actually the #3 top presentation tool globally. And I think we're coming up on #2, and then eventually we'll be #1, I hope, because of how vast our presentation tools are. So start to explore some of those templates. The different use cases, I just say dabble in a little bit of everything. And then we can start to identify how you can really form fit that for your course, how you design your course materials, and then how Canva can kind of come in and align with your vision for your course, and how it can even help influence or shape the direction you take moving forward. But I'd say get in there, have fun, test things out, and the ideas will just start pouring in. I guarantee it.
And just to clarify, when you say get in there and create an account, you're just saying get in and create your free personal
Go ahead.
account and then reach out to you and get more customized training and how it would work for the campus.
Exactly. Yeah. And starting off with the free Canva account is a great way because it's such a robust free account. So start there, and then we'll kind of see what your needs are and kind of work with you on what tools may be helpful in the classroom in addition. And then getting set up with Canva for campus from there. But yeah, love it.
This next question says, this individual has a Canva Pro account. They're wondering how they can switch that to a Canva for Campus account.
Yeah. So for campuses that sign on for campus, Canva for Campus, if you already have an existing setup or teams across the institution also have Canva, we'll work with you to kind of centralize that and transition you over. So that way, you have access to all the features. And then also you can kind of, if you need to, sunset that pro account in lieu of the campus account. So we'll work with you on that and your institution.
Excellent. And they just need to reach out to you for that.
Yeah.
Get that started. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last question we have here is, will students be able to create logos with transparent backgrounds?
Yes.
Very important.
So one of the features in Pro is you can create transparent backgrounds. You can use the background remover tool, which is mind-blowing. You can remove a background of any image in seconds, rather than, other tools where you have to trace it and get really, really granular there. So yes, that is available. And we also have a lot of logo templates that students can use when creating or ideating around logos and creating their own brand kits. And so all of those features that are available in Pro for that are available in the campus side too. So students can create logos. I know I created a logo for many of my group projects back when I was in school, and it was a lifesaver.
Excellent. I think the next session that we need to do with Canva is probably one highlighting some of these awesome tools and the presentations and how educators can actually get in and use these with their classrooms and their students.
Yeah, a working session would be awesome. Just to, we can whiteboard it and collaborate together. Everyone can hop in and we can work on some of the tools together and get your ideas and feedback.
Very cool. All right, well, I think that is all the questions we have. So thank you so much, Mia. This has been great for me, and I know for all the other participants and attendees here.
Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed presenting and sharing some of my thoughts with all of you and hearing some of your ideas. And thank you so much to Stucant for inviting us to present and for hosting an awesome ProfCon.